Hello and welcome back to Vet Talks. Um, kind of wanted to put a video on a concerning trend, I would say, in my eyes, of diagnosis. Um, so I had been diagnosed with PTSD, and I could accept that. There are some things that, yeah, absolutely, I agree with that. No issue about that. It's part of my coping mechanism with the PTSD. I wasn't on any type of medication, um, so when you go to these counselings or therapies or whatever it is that they start to do, they a lot of times they try to evaluate how to best control your, I don't know, what would you call it, your, for me, it was my anger issues. So, and I remember coming back from a deployment, my first deployment. I remember, and I do talk about a little bit about road rage, and there was an incident that I realized that no, this is not me, or at least I felt that I got to get a control of this anger of what's going on, and so I self-enrolled in anger management. Anger management is one of those things that you're basically like you're going to counseling. And I remember they when I was in the anger management, I was like, all right, we're about to get down to some. They're going to give me some good insight on how to deal with my anger. And they start out by helping you identify the type of person you are. Like they were saying, if you're a person that's constantly just you voice your anger all the time, and they say you're a tiger. You're a tiger because you wear your stripes on your arm. You're always showing people, don't mess with me. Whatever. And then there were like other. If you're the type of person that you take in all this things that would make you angry, but you don't express it, then they say you're like a squirrel. You're taking that all that stuff and you're storing it somewhere, all right? And then there was I don't remember all of them, but I just remember, that's all I remember from the whole class or whatever they gave. And I kind of felt that I was cheated on something. I thought I was going to get some great insight or something. Okay, so all you did was tell me, identify yourself as an angry person. Duh, I could have did that way before I even came to the class. I didn't get anything. I don't think I got anything out of that one because I don't remember anything out of that one. So the other, fast forward, that was like in 2004. Fast forward, I've been on 6 deployments, and there are times that anger served me very well. In a deployment, if you're in a very hostile environment and you're having to deal with certain types of emotions, either you're going to be the aggressor or you're going to be the one that's just um, how can I put it? Some certain situations you got to be aggressive. And for me, I was kicking in the door. I was the first man in, so I had to be aggressive. I couldn't just not go through. I had to rely on the fact that if I did get shot, that body armor is going to stop the bullet from going in me. So I put a lot of confidence in what my team and you know. But that was neither here nor there. I'm getting off focus here. But going back to diagnosis, so I did explain that I did have a drinking problem, and as part of my, I went to ASAP. ASAP is a program in the Army. I don't know what ASAP stands for. It's like alcohol abuse, substance, drugs, whatever it is. It was just something that you can go in there and say, look, I need some help. And I remember they were like, well, you know what? You can either you can basically, we can sit here and talk to you, try to help you out a little bit. Because I was right away, I was like, hey, you know what? Give me the pill that if I do drink, it's going to make me sick. Because I heard there was a pill like that, And they're like, no, that's not how we're going to play this one. We're gonna send you to this program. There's a program for substance abuse, and So you go there, it ends up, you know, becoming your place of duty. So every they start you out. You got to go every day, and you got to go. You got to be there from a certain time to a certain time, and you go to all these different classes. So there's all these different classes, and I remember there was one in there that was art therapy. Oh man, I loved art therapy. You know, you get to draw, you get to put on these collages, and you get to you know, make little sculptures with clay, and I found that very therapeutic. But time comes where you got to go see the drug doctor. The drug doctor. Who's the drug doctor? The drug doctor is the guy that's going to put you on some medication. He's going to figure out what's going on with you, and there's a pill for that. So my thing is anger, and they said, here, we're going to put you on Zoloft. Okay. What is Zoloft? Well, it's a pill, and it's pretty much, it's a hard pill to take. A lot of people that try it don't like it because it really turns your stomach inside out. You get really nauseous, and they're like, you know, we're going to start off with 50 milligrams, and it may not be for you. And I'm like, bring it. I end up going up to 200 milligrams. I'm needing, you know, let's do this. I'm not, you know, let's whatever it takes. So I'm on there and I'm seeing the effects. I'm seeing how it has reduced my anger. My anger is being controlled. You know, I'm feeling the effects. I can tell right away. But see, it wasn't just that, because when you're there, they're still diagnosing you. So then they ask you a bunch of questions. And they asked me this one question. I said, have you ever had a moment where you're like really euphoric, you know, euphoric or whatever you call it? You're like a really high mode or high mood, you know, and then later on you're like the opposite. And I said, yeah, you know, there was like this one time, you know, I went out there and I went on this little spending spree, and then, you know, all the stuff that I bought. Later on, I was like, I buy all this junk. And they said, oh, you're bipolar. Okay, I didn't know I was bipolar, but wait, you're the expert, not me. Fine. Well, here, there's another pill for that. So you got to take the anger thing, and you got to take this bipolar pill. And on top of that, we got some, you know, they're always looking for little things, right? Have you suffered with nightmares? Do you suffer with flashbacks? Absolutely. Here's another pill for that one. Okay, let's do this. Now we're getting somewhere, you know. I got all these pills, and I'm taking them, and I'm finding out real quickly that when you bundle them all together, it really makes you feel kind of weird. You know, I was really kind of like loopy, and, you know, I felt, at some point I felt like I was drooling on my mouth. I was like, man, this stuff is just overwhelming. You believe what they tell you. You believe what they say. You take that label and you put it on yourself. Okay, PTSD, bipolar, I need this other Latuda or whatever. I was having issues with these pills. They weren't easy to deal with. Fast forward a couple weeks ago. So I'm back. I'm going to the. Yeah, I'm retired, but I'm still seeing the medical doctors. And I get I'm having some pain issues, you know, some nerve pain, and I'm talking about how, you know, pretty much I'm going back on drinking again. You know, I'm turning to drinking. They're asking, well, how much are you drinking? Oh, shoot. Polish off half a bottle of vodka easy on one day. Oh no, you need to go see behavioral health. I said, well, no, I'm not allowed to. You know, after you get out of the military, you can't go to. Oh, they said, no, you can't go to mental health, but you can go to behavioral health. Okay, sounds good to me. I'll take it, no problem. So then I go see this person. This person's sitting there and they're talking to me and they're analyzing the situation, and then they throw a bomb at me. And they said, you're not bipolar. What do you mean I'm not bipolar? They wouldn't lie to me. Why would they just put a title on that doesn't exist? Now you got me believing certain things, like I'm a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type person. That's how I'm thinking. But then this person saying, no, there's no way you're a bipolar. If you were really bipolar and you were taking Zoloft, the chemical reaction, I don't know. I don't know all the terms, but the chemical reaction between that would put you in the hospital. So then they're referring me to a specialist that specializes in bipolar to prove that I'm not, that wasn't what it was. But I believed what you said. I believed because it was an expert telling me these things. They asked me a question: have I ever felt, really, really good at one point and really bad at another point? And if I fit that category, I'm bipolar. Are they just pushing drugs on us? Are they just? Am I just a guinea pig? Are they just throwing things and see what sticks? You got me taking all this stuff, ruining my body. I only got one kidney, so all that stuff's got to filter through my kidney. My liver's been shot. Ever since all my drinking and having malaria and all this stuff. So, what do you trust? How do you? I trust what I believe is the experts. But at the same time, I believe that there is, unfortunately, a lot of misdiagnosed symptoms. And I think a lot of it has to do with the dumbest questions they ask you about whatever it is that they ask you. Like, for instance, with PTSD, and you go in there, they'll tell you, oh, the truck is red. And they'll say, later on, I'm going to ask you again, and I want you to tell me what I just asked you. Now, I do suffer plenty of times where I'm sitting there and I'm watching TV, and a commercial will come on, and I will totally forget what in the world I was just watching. And I'll sit there and try to figure out, okay, what was I just watching? Why am I, but it could be that my mind wanders and I'm just not there. But see, that's what they're trying to figure out. Apparently, that is a symptom of PTSD, is this memory lapse or inability to remember certain things and stuff like that. But if you're going to give me, the ball is round or the truck is red, and then later on you ask me, hey, what was it I told you? The truck is red. Why are you making it out like I can't remember something that simple? Now, if you would have told me, hey, my name is, blah, blah, blah. And then later on, ask me again what your name is. I will forget. I'm very bad with names, do something like that. But don't, there's no fixing it. And they need to revise the evaluation. You don't just give me one little line. Oh, there he is. Yep. See, you're this or you're that. And I did struggle with the idea of the bipolar off of that one analogy, that one whatever, and now you're telling me, now I got somebody else telling me that there's no way you're bipolar, as if I was just trying to add more titles to me to make me feel somehow whatever, like you discover something. Bottom line, be careful out there with these diagnoses. Be careful what they tell you. Take stuff with a grain of salt sometimes, and if you need to, get a second opinion. If you don't agree with it, get a second opinion. Don't automatically just accept with whatever they tell you, because sometimes, you believe. If somebody tells you something and you trust them, you'll believe it. And sometimes it's not the right. It may not be the right thing, So, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later.